Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing fabulously. Today I have a radical idea. I follow this YouTube channel and I was looking for inspiration for new planner setups while I'm thinking about my setup for 2024. You know, it's never too early, right? And she had the most amazing planner that I have seen in my life. It was like a planner inside a planner. She called it, or she didn't call it, it's called the Gillio Mia Cara. And I was like, that's amazing. It was a folio and it opened up and then there was a ring planner inside and you could remove the ring planner from the folio. So it was like two planners in one, or like a turducken. Or maybe turducken's three things, right? But essentially a planner inside a planner. And I thought I could be able to do that. Can I do it? I've got these two planners because they are very similar in color. This is a Filofax Domino Soft, and I really enjoyed this back when I was doing personal planning because it was small and very easy to bring with me places. The rings aren't as big as the ring sizes that we're seeing now, and forgive me, I don't know what the ring sizes are called, but rings on planners now are a lot bigger than this. So this would chunk up, and for me, for what I was using it for, it was fine. But then I moved on to bigger rings and this went into storage. But I love it so much because I love the color, I love the texture, I love the feel, I love the band. It was kind of like a traveler's notebook, but with the ring mechanism. And then the second planner I had that's in a color similar to this is my Print Pression B6, and you guys have seen this last fall. This was, I believe it was either the first or the second of my DIY planner subscription that I started at the end of 2022. So this was also in storage, and I thought, can I just fit this inside this pocket and call it a day? Use it as a use it as that as kind of a DIY version and knockoff of this other amazing planner and save money. So I did put it inside. It fits. It's a little bit snug, but and I think the colors look great. It will close. It's not too bulky. It is empty though. And now I'm thinking, let's do it. Let's go all in. There's a couple of things I think I need to do to make this look more not authentic, but look a little neater and cleaner. And so let's do those things and let's see if this experiment works. First, I think I need to remove this band so that there's nothing kind of holding this. This is just kind of adding bulk, so we can remove that. It's right behind the rings. I'll take this out again. So the steps I think are to remove this band so that there's no extra bulk. See if I can, if I remove the band, will these holes be too apparent? I'm not sure. The next thing is, I think this is pretty much done. I don't think I need to do anything else. I wouldn't want to remove the pen loop because I may want to use this as a separate item at a later date and need the pen loop. So step one would be to remove this band. Step two, I think, is to these bands also add some bulk. I have access to them in the back pocket, so I can remove them as well. And then the holes will show. I would have to figure out what I can do to mitigate that. And then the third thing is that this planner, that Gillio planner, had like a pen pocket in the spine here. If I remove these straps, can I get a pen pocket in place of it? And if I do get a pen pocket, will it be not bulky so that I can close the whole planner and have it as a system? And then finally, what kind of inserts should I have in here? I have two ideas. One, I could go full utilitarian inserts with a very clean look, or maybe I can go the other way and kind of have a glam, ostentatious type of setup. And now that I say that out loud, I think that is the way that I want to go, because it is such a neutral color. It would be fun to open this up and see something pop from the inside. So those are my initial thoughts. Wish me luck, guys. I hope this works, and if it does, that'll be something. I will. I'll remove these straps, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I started with the act of removing this band, and I realized two things. One, there is this closure here on the band, which I would have to cut off, and I worry about that because if I were to cut this off and then I wanted to take this out and use it as a planner by itself, and then put the band on again, the band would now be too short to use. I also realized that there is some space between the binding mechanism and the planner, so I think it's enough that I pull this string so that it's taut here. That also takes care of the holes being exposed, which I was worried about. And then I can kind of wrap this string around that binding mechanism so that it's hidden, and it's out of the way, and it's not adding additional bulk, even though that it's still there. So I'm kind of wrapping this around. I'm going to tuck it like under that binder, and when the binder is down, you don't see the string anymore. I'm just kind of like tucking it under there, and then it is popping out a little bit here. I'm going to fiddle with this a little bit, but you know, like I said, this is an experiment. I don't need it to be perfect. If it's sticking out there, I'm never like looking in the back of the side of the planner anyway, so I think that will work. And the next part is, what do I do with these straps? I can probably untie these and unstring them, and then figure out what I want to do with these holes. I did experiment with having the planner inside and putting a pen here, and it was making it a little bit bulky, and I didn't love it. I also always use this pouch for my pens, so I'm not really I don't think I'm worried about not having the pen, like some type of pen loop here. So that's where I'm at. The other thing is, I was looking through my stash, and these are some dashboards that I had in my A5 wide, which we went through a couple of days ago, and I'm going to repurpose these. What I'm going to do is cut them up, and I'll cut them down rather. So I'll cut them down to personal size and make some dashboards for this planner, and then do some inserts to fit. So these are very bright and beautiful, and since this is a neutral, I think that they work really well. Like there's some neutral elements in here, so the only difficult part will be figuring out which ones to use, because they are all just so beautiful. There's, I believe, 9 here. There's 8. And usually in a binder like this, I would only have about 5 sections, so that will be the next thing to work on. Alright, so as an update, I did take the strings out of the print pression. That was not as easy as I thought it was, because it was tied very, very tightly, and it's a nice thick string, so that really goes to show the quality of the items. I'm going to store this string so that I can put it back if I want to use this cover as a stringed TN again. The holes are, I feel like I thought that they would show a lot more than they are showing, and I think that I don't need to do a lot after this to get it to look nice. My eye's not drawn to the hole as I initially thought it would be, so I'm gonna leave this alone. The other thing I think I said before that I wasn't sure about putting some type of pen holder here, and I do use the side pocket for pens, so I'm not going to add the pen holder. So that was the extent of the modifications that I've done. Let's load it up. I did think that I would create some inserts for this, but I don't think that I will, because I was in my closet, my planner closet, and I saw a bunch of personal inserts, and I think I'll use them because they're pretty neutral. These are from Webster's pages, and I remember there's a little indentation from the paperclip that was stored with it, but I think that's fine. I'll just move this in the back. Maybe I'll put this one in the back. I remember, I think that the Webster's pages might have been my gateway into the planner community when I first started decorative planning. So seeing these inserts, it's really, really nostalgic to me at this point. I really loved their covers. That's like a really well-made product as well. And I remember at one point, like, I was buying all of the planners just to get the different colored covers, and then I would like use my own inserts. So I did have a lot of these original Webster's pages inserts floating around. But what I liked about their inserts was that they had these different sections to kind of get you to memory keep your months and your days. And for some months I was doing the memory keeping portion, and it was a really cute way to keep those records. So they have this day in the life. You could write 1 memory per day. I think that's a pretty easy way to do it. Then they had like thoughts, ideas, and dreams, and I remember using a bunch of these. And then they had like lists and goals and plans, and then I think they had a meal. Oh, they had the menu planning pages and the shopping list at the back. And these are all undated, so you know, you could use them up quicker or slower depending on how often you were entering them. So then I had monthly, like the monthly calendar, and then I have the week on 2 pages, which was a pretty standard way to do planning. At least when I started, I was always doing a week on 2 pages, and then I learned all about Erin Condren and all of the different layouts and Happy Planner and things like that. So it's kind of poetic that we're coming full circle back to these Webster's pages inserts, I think. So I thought I would set up this planner with these inserts and just kind of see how I would like using a personal planner again especially as we're thinking about going into the next year. The other thing that I wanted to do was make my own dividers. So I have these, and the great thing about these is that I can cut them down, and I think I can get 2 dividers per sheet. So maybe I can pick like 2 or 3 of these, and then hold the rest of them for another project. So that's wonderful. I'll put the rest of these inserts, and I think that probably the month should be first, maybe the weeks should be next, and then at the back have the to-dos. The last week is here. Yeah, I think we're going to keep actually, maybe I think that the to-dos should be before the weeks. And I'm going to get myself a Post-it to divide the sections until I have my inserts created. Actually, maybe I should create the inserts and then put the rest of these in. Let's do that. Okay, so move this out of the way. Let's pick some inserts. They're like abstract images, and they were painted by I'm gonna call it a creative bestie of mine, Anna, and she's from Anna XO. Okay, so I really love these circles. And I think I need like these flowers. Okay, so these are the 3 that I'm going to cut apart, and then I have 5 that I will hold on to for a different project. Alright, so next I should probably get a template. I can use this as a template for how big the divider should be. And I think that I can just get it to fit if I cut these holes off. Alright, so let me get my paper cutter. Now these dashboards I had made by from Anna XO. That's her website. I'll leave it in the description. She sells these digital art prints as a set, and it was a set of 12. So I had bought the set of 12, and I printed it out on this Tomoe river paper, which it's very thin, but it's also such a gorgeous paper, so the colors really pop out on the paper, even though it was a digital print. And then I laminated it, so it would give it some extra stability, but since it was the Tomoe river paper, it's a very thin divider, or very thin dashboard rather. And even though I threw the rest of the planner away that these were part of, I wanted to take these and reuse them for something else. So I think the dividers for this new planner is a great usage. And I think that I could even like re-laminate it again to get it to be a little bit thicker. I don't know if I'll do that because this planner, like I said, the rings aren't as big. And I think it's the 30 millimeter rings that everybody is using these days. And that's why the rings are so large. Are these 30 millimeters? No, this is like maybe 25. So the 30 millimeter rings are definitely the bigger ones for those chunkier planners. And this is not that, so I do want to keep it as slim as possible, and also considering this is going to be like 2 planners, I don't want to bulk it up too much, especially when I haven't started using it yet, because with use those planners do tend to get bulky. So now that I've got the holes cut off, let's see how I can fit this. This is almost a perfect fit. So I can probably cut this off here. And then is that like the orientation that I want? That's interesting. I do actually want to get part of the flower in there. Okay, so what I'm seeing is it's just the right size as this tab, but there's a little bit of that clear edge, and I think I do want to cut this clear edge off so that it's just a uniform the image all the way around. If I cut the clear edge off, it's going to be too short. So maybe what I'm better off doing is cutting this in like portrait mode. Then maybe this part I can use for a different project. But if I do that, since there are 5 sections, there's like a monthly, there's the weekly, and then there's these 3 other sections. So I will need 5 dividers if I'm cutting them all the long way, and that's going to be the same with all of these because these are the same size. Yeah, so if I cut them all the long way, I need two more of these. So what do I have? I have got there's lots of pinks here. There's pinks and yellows. There's pinks and blues. Maybe I can add the orange one. So there's that splash of blue and the splash of pink. And maybe the green. So if I do this like this, I can get like the 2 green images here. Maybe I can do this. Okay. So let's cut off the edge off of this. So since this is that Tomoe River paper and it's laminated, the laminate kind of fuses to the paper, so I'm not concerned about the laminate coming apart or anything. I know that with certain types of paper it will, but for this it doesn't. So it's really fused to the paper well. And like if you like to do lamination projects like making bookmarks and things, and you use this type of paper, you laminate it, it really can give you a professional look without like the clear edge around it. So so I'm excited about that. I love having a professional look, especially with at-home projects. So I'm going to line this up so that I can get like this leaf, or this this floral design here. And I do want to kind of get that January tab. And then I'll just cut the rest of my pieces this exact size. So this is, oh, it's perfectly 6 3/4 long by 4, maybe 4 1/16 wide. And now I'm grabbing my hole puncher. This is that trusty Rapesco that everybody was using. You can get it off of Amazon. It's just called Rapesco, and it's a pretty ubiquitous planner punch. And this is the standard size, so it's will fit what personal. For the A5, usually you would punch half of the holes and then the other half of the holes so that they line up. I don't know if they come with an A5 hole punch. They may. The next part that I'm doing is rounding the corners. I think that rounded corners really add to the professional look. But in addition to that, since these are laminate, the corner is going to be sharp, so having a rounded corner is always better for that too. So I'm rounding the corners. This is the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper, and I'm using the 1/4 inch side. So now that that's done, and I just rounded the corner on the left side, the right side. I'm sorry, the right side, so that you know, when you're turning pages, you don't poke yourself. Now let's see about an order. I think that I really like the pink, I'd like to start off with the pink and then maybe go with the orange. You have the green in the middle, then orange, and then kind of finish off with the blue and the pink. I think that's a really nice progression. And now I'm going to punch the holes. So for this part, I'm just eyeballing to make sure that it's even on both sides. And since it's laminate, I'm doing one at a time. Sometimes laminate does get stuck, and you can kind of hear like that little crunch as the blades are going through the plastic. It's a little bit harder than punching through paper. So, and I always take my time with this step because even though I'm DIYing this, I do like them to look nice, and I want my, I don't want to be like annoyed by any crookedness in my own dividers. Okay, so those are repunched. Looks like they line up. There's one that's a little bit off, but that's okay. And now let's load them in to the planner. Now I'm starting off with the pink. Okay, so these are in reverse. So this is the last one. And I think we'll have the last one here. So this is for the weeks section. And then I'm going to do, maybe we'll do the to-dos. So these are those smaller sections we had: to-dos, thoughts, and then day in the life. I'll do the day in the life last, the thoughts in the middle, and then the to-dos in the front. So this worked out really well because that thoughts one kind of has this this green design in the corner. Oh, and I almost forgot to put this one back, so it was my guide. That looks really, really pretty. You can kind of see that. So the planner is full now. You know, it has all those pages, but it's kind of full. Like I wouldn't have been able to fit a lot more in the way of inserts now. So I'm really glad that I didn't re-laminate these. It's just like a very thin divider. And I could have also tabbed them, but I kind of like that they're not tabbed. They're just, you know, providing like a nice clean edge on the one side. The other thing I can do is put the ruler on that first week. So it looks really clean, really great. Closes very well. I'm very happy. So now I could kind of like load up this pocket with maybe like with some goodies. For the planner that's inspired this project, there are a little bit of differences. I talked about the pen holder here. I'm okay with that because I'm using this one to hold the pens. They also had like a little flap where you could keep I don't know, I guess whatever you wanted to keep in this little pouch here. So it would be interesting to see if I could kind of duplicate that flap function in this planner. And I think I have a little pouch that I can kind of attach in here to mimic that. So I'm gonna go look for that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did find what I was thinking about, and that is this little pouch. It is not an exact match, but I think that it's in the same family as this. You know, this is we'll say that these are all neutrals. It is a little pouch by the Honeybee shop, and when I was using this planner last fall, I was using this in the, like, as the not part of the setup, but this was carrying everything that I was using in the planner, so it was a perfect, I thought, coordinating set, and I think that this will work well with this setup. Now the pouch will fit in this little side pocket here, and it will close. So there's that, or I could put it in the second pocket so that a little bit more of the design shows. So I think that will work well too. I don't think it works well here. The other thing I had considered was if I left the strings in here, maybe I could have looped this onto the string, but I didn't like the thought of having this like flapping around. So I think I'm just going to keep it in the second pocket so that more of the design shows, and we'll call that part done. So there is a kind of my little hack for that little pouch that was on the planner cover. And now I think is the most fun part, which is accessorizing the rest of the pockets and maybe picking out some pens and things that I would use in this setup. So I'm going to grab my box of tools and maybe some bookmarks and see what I can come up with. So I think what I'll do is take some of the offcuts and make planner accessories with them. I really enjoy this print with that flower and the white outline. What I could do is cut this down so that it would make like a really nice background on this side. And I think maybe right here would be a good place to cut it. So I'm just making a tiny mark. And then I think this one, I love this one again with the flower, and I think would make a nice insert right here in the pocket. So it really pops. And I could probably put a little accent. I've got this sticker book out. This is the Planners Anonymous collaboration with Michaels, or with Craftsmith actually. But I bought this at Michaels, and they have a bunch of these clear stickers which I think would work well on top of the laminate. And I want to use maybe a couple of the dragonflies, maybe some hearts, maybe some stars to accent this pocket as well. Maybe I'll have to cut this down too. So I think I do want a dragonfly here. Maybe we'll go with the pink one. That would be adorable. And I actually might not have room for anything else. Let's round the corner so that it's not scratching the inside of my binder. Okay, so that's a lot smoother. Dragonfly looks great. Maybe I could fit like a cluster of stars on this side. Actually, I think I'm going to leave it blank, but I will cut off a little bit maybe like just 1/4 of an inch off the top here, so that it fits better. And all around the corners. Oh, it just like slid in there so nicely, like butter. So that's perfect. I love how that looks. Next, let's do this one. So I got the mark on where I want to cut it. And I'll round the corners again. The 1/4 of an inch side. So this one, I'll have to maybe manually fix it a little bit. It's just like a tiny, tiny sharp edge here. So that looks really lovely. I love how this coordinates. Now for these 2 pockets, I usually do a paper clip, like a felt, either a felt paper clip or some type of die cut paper clip. I don't want to do that this time because since like there's a lot going on here, I really don't want to bulk up the planner too much. So maybe I'll put 2 more cards in, or actually maybe I could put 2, like some sticker sheets or something. Are these stickers that I think I could probably use up these stickers in this planner, because there's not a lot of stickers that are specific sizes like full boxes or anything. Like there's more icons and more smaller stickers. So I'll come back to this at a later date. Inside here, what would I put? Probably stickers, and maybe some Post-its. There's really a lot of storage now. I'm very excited about how this came out. Let's see what else. I've got a charm for the outside of the planner. This says, "I'm not for everyone." And it's really gorgeous, black. I think that it goes with any planner, especially this one since it's mostly neutral, so when it's closed it will really pop against the background. And I'm gonna say that's done. That's adorable. I never would have imagined that I would have like a planner and a planner that's 2 parts, like the binder and the cover. So that's quite ingenious of Gillio to come up with that concept. I could totally see how it would be useful. Like it's kind of like having 2 planners in one. Like I think I could take this out. Say if this was a work planner, I would have this whole thing at work, and then maybe since like this part has like a lot of the decor, I would leave this in my bag and just take this into my meeting. And again, like the Filofax, this was a Domino Soft. It's such a small compact planner that it really is a great option for if you're carrying your planner on the go with you. So what am I going to do now? I think I'm going to I'm going to keep this on my desk. I'm going to experiment with maybe some of the layouts. Could I possibly do a personal rings setup for 2024? I don't know. It's really fun to think about. I do have a couple of rings planners in my collection, so I certainly wouldn't get bored. I mean, I could switch out into different rings like every month or every other month to keep things exciting. But this planner, like, I love the color. It feels very different to like any other type of planner setup that I've done before, so it could be cool. I'll give updates as I play around with it, and let you know if this could be, or if rings could be the planner for me in 2024. So do you have like two small planners that you could, you know, combine in this way? Would you try this project? Let me know. Or do you have the Gillio, and how do you like it so far? For me, it's the first time I've seen it, so I was very intrigued, and you know, but at the same time, it's a pricey planner. I wouldn't want to, you know, purchase it and experiment with it that way. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this little project, you know, the hack, if you will. Thank you for spending the day with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.